prepared. You always go with something prepared. So if in case the person who was supposed to do it didn't turn up, then you are there and you are available. And that's what makes life much more better if we could only prepare and be ready for whenever we are called upon. So this morning, I need to talk maybe about garlic and onion because they are both they're related. So probably I'll talk about both of them. And then I have to coming from last week. I have to give some feedback on the border crops and so. I'm not done with that. We go back into that one. We must try to eat healthy. They say, let food be your medicine and medicine be your food. These were the famous words from the ancient Greek physician, Hippocrates. He used garlic to treat a variety of medical conditions. Today, modern science has confirmed the benefits of the health effects of garlic. Garlic is a plant of the allium, which is the onion family, and it is closely related to onions and leeks. And this is, I think, in the Bible, you hear about onions and leeks. And this is one of the food the Israelites were craving for when they were living in Egypt. So which means that they had to be good food. It is closely related to onions, leeks, and shallots. Each segment of a garlic bulb is called clove. There are about 10 to 20 cloves in a single bulb. Garlic is grown in many parts of the world and is a very popular ingredient in cooking due to its strong smell and delicious taste. However, history taught throughout ancient history, the main use of garlic was for health and medical use. Most of the health benefits are caused by the sulfur compound formed in garlic clove, which is when chopped, crushed, as chewed. Allicin is the most famous compound found in garlic. When it is crushed or cut, the sulfur compound from the garlic enters the body from the digestive tract and travels all over the body. If you rub a clove of garlic under your feet, you will get the taste of the garlic shortly in your mouth. Garlic can combat sickness, including the common cold. It boosts the function of immune system. The active ingredients in garlic can reduce blood pressure, cardiovascular disease like heart attacks and stroke. Heart attacks and stroke are the world's biggest killers. And also garlic can be used for high blood pressure, hypertension. It's one of the most important drivers of this disease. Supplementing doses must be fairly high, which must be equivalent to about 4 cloves. Garlic improves cholesterol levels, which may lower the risk of heart disease. Garlic contains antioxidants that may help prevent Alzheimer's disease and dementia. Garlic may help to live longer. Athletes' performance might be improved with garlic supplements. It was given to Olympic athletes in ancient Greece. Garlic may help detoxify heavy metals in the body. Garlic may improve bone health by increasing estrogen levels in females in menopausal stage. Garlic can also be beneficial in osteoarthritis. Garlic is very easy and delicious to include in your diet. It complements most savory dishes, particularly soups and savory. A common way to use garlic is to press a few cloves with a garlic press, then mix it with extra virgin oil and a bit of salt, which can be used as a dressing. Garlic and ginger combined together makes a good paste. When saturating garlic and onion, always cook the onion first, but garlic tends to burn much quicker. Please note that if you have a bleeding disorder are taking blood thinning medication, talk to your doctor before increasing your garlic intake. That's it for garlic this morning. So we should be using garlic on a daily basis.
I'm not sure if I heard you speak about garlic reducing pressure, because I know they say if you have high blood
Yeah, I
pressure, your
think I
pressure is a
did.
bit
Yes,
too high.
right.
Okay.
Yes, I think I did pressure. Let's just run back there. Okay, so, yeah, high
Okay.
blood pressure or hypertension is one of the most important drivers in this disease. So then the garlic will help
Okay.
supplement. Yes, very good for high blood pressure.
All right.
So while we're on garlic, we just take a little bit on onions. They are the same family. Onions are packed with nutrients, low in calories and high in vitamins and minerals. Onion benefit heart health and is loaded with antioxidants. It contains cancer-fighting compounds, help control blood sugar, bone density, have an antibacterial have antibacterial properties. It boosts digestive health. It boosts libido in both men and women. And they say the monks avoid eating the onion because it is known to build up semen. And when cooking, as I say again, always cook, when you cook an onion and garlic, always cook the onion first before you cook the garlic. So I hope that's such information for us this morning. If we eat the right food, then we will have less complication and with disease and so let us start eating right.
A
And they,
question
yeah,
for the onion: is onion a fruit or?
it will fall under it's well herb.
Uh,
Uh, um, it will fall under alliums, which means they're onion, garlic, shallots, and scythe. So it's not a they probably put it under it goes under vegetable and not other herb, but not other herb. It goes under it will go under vegetables.
okay. Because people tend to sometimes get confused with that. Some people
Fruits
say,
and yeah, what is
yeah,
fruits? I'll probably well more or less it goes under vegetable.
you
It goes
fall under
under but
vegetables.
it go under vegetables, but it could also go well part of like the other part could go under herbs.
Mhm.
Like the green of the onion, use it as for seasoning, like we call it slive. Also, the green of the garlic, use it also for seasoning. And so that could go mix both herb and a veg.
All right. We have
Yeah.
a caller on the line. Good morning.
Good morning, darling. Good morning.
How are you?
Good morning to Mr. So, I do it to you.
Morning, Kami.
Morning, sweetheart.
How are you doing?
And well, not 100% yes.
Yeah, but you
I just don't want to sit down because when you ever feel sick, and you sit down, everybody is wrong.
no,
Yeah.
but according to your party slogan, keep on moving, don't sit down.
But yes, I'm moving, yes, I move. It's about good morning. Yeah. I'm going on to my doctor in your clinic.
All
I
right,
just say good morning
that's
to
good of you.
everybody who's listening.
So you are alive and
Yes, that's what I called. So I didn't know anything. I don't really.
you know what?
I remember here Thursday morning.
Right.
She said, yeah. That you know, I was called.
Yeah.
I
No,
was
that's
like, yeah.
no, you're calling every day. No. You're making people know that
Yeah.
you God has spared you another day. You're alive.
Amen. Yeah.
So with that, have a wonderful, wonderful day.
You too, and you must keep it young. The man, you could have got something there.
No, I will do, yeah, once I get
Because what I had me put it there and I beat and sell it out. And I don't want people that don't have garden. Yeah, all of them. I have a birthday.
All right, Cammy.
Thank you, everybody.
All right.
No start, the doctors, nurses, everybody in Grenada. Good morning. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Miss Cammy.
Yeah, what is the program without a coming? Let me ask you all, and coming has
Definitely.
right. So while on that, the plant family, there are different plant families. that we have. And then one of them is called nightshades. And in the nightshade family, you have tomatoes, peppers, eggplant, potato, and tobacco. They are in the nightshade family. So you could plant them together. Then you have legumes, which would be beans, peas, peanuts. Well, you have clover and vetch, but they are more, vetch and clover, they are really used as for crop, animal feed and for cover crops.
Mm.
Then you have cucurbits. Cucurbits would be vegetables like squash, pumpkin, zucchini. And I don't think we do much zucchini in Grenada, but zucchini is a very good vegetable. Then you have melons, you have the gourds. Gourds would be like what you call the big carrot, that will fall under gourds, the
Mm.
GOURDS, and cucumbers. Then you have the brassicas family, which is cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, kale, collards, mustard, kohl, kohlrabi, turnips, radish, canola, and cress. I gave you the other family already. Then you have another type which you could recommend lettuce, anthrax, endive, sunflower, marigold, and various other flowers. Then you have the grasses, corn, rye, oats, wheat, sorghum, rice, millet. And then you would have the herbs, which would be mint, basil, sage, catnip, lemongrass, and various other herbs. And another one you'll have will be the one that takes okra, cotton, and roselle. So there are a number of going on again. We'll have another another list which contains like chard, beets, spinach, and aromates. And the potato fall under convolved French, not French, but Italian. Italian, it was the potato and money would fall under the same category. So these are the major category of plants, the vegetables, and where they fall under. But a lot of people is mistaking something with fruit and vegetables, which is not, you have to know exactly what they are. And then what are plant families? Plant families, actually, you must know your you must know your vegetables. So plant families are a group of plants that share flowering and fruiting characteristics. They are the cucurbits family. So the cucurbits family produces both male and female flowers that rely on insects for pollination. Gardeners should be aware of the vegetable family. Each vegetable family has its own cultural requirements for the plant to grow, own flowering structure, and hence its own pollination. There are some that would attract pests and diseases. And one of the better thing to do is crop rotation on a 4-year basis and help build a large population of harmful elements. So that's it. We'll take a break.
All right. We'll be right back, guys.
Cooperative Credit Union Limited wishes to inform the general public of the following change in Saturday operating hours at our St. George branch. The office located at the Derek Sylvester building on the street will now be opened from 9 a.m. to 12 noon on Saturdays. The extension is in an effort to meet the needs of our members. Please be reminded that our operating hours are as follows: Mondays to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., Fridays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., on Saturdays in Grenville from 8 a.m. to 12 noon, St. George from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, the best place to save and borrow.
There comes a time in every household when a loved one passes on, and we all need the support and guidance of a trusted friend. Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home has been your dedicated friend. And now, for health convenience and added financial ease, we introduce specially designed complete funeral packages from as low as $5,500. Same professional quality services, but now greater choices at the lowest possible prices. As you prepare to enter your loved one into eternal rest, visit Lacour Brothers Funeral Home and select a package that brings added comfort to the entire family. Conditions apply. Serving you from locations in St. George's, Grenville, and Carriacou. Call us at 440-2302 anytime of day. Lacour Brothers Funeral Home, continuing the tradition of excellence.
M&M Limited, hosts in Andrew and Dusty Highway St. George. Shop conveniently for all your building materials, including plumbing, electrical, lumber, cement, steel, and much more. We manufacture roofing sheets available in 11 colors, aluminum windows, doors, inset screens, and hurricane shutters. Installation services are available for all our manufactured products. For opening hours are Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. M&N Hardware Limited. Come on in and experience our affordable prices. Or call us 444-6757 or 440-6757 Dusty Highway. Email us at info@mahonhardware.com. M&M Dusty at mahonhardware.com. M&M Hardware, foundation to roof. Let's build together.
The first word when you speak about furniture is classic. Yes, classic furniture. They design and make the best in local furniture. All their products are made from the finest local wood available on island. You think it, they design it and make it to your expectations. The highest standards at the best possible price. And they also provide iron purchase for you, the valued customers. Located on Benjamin Street in Grenville, go to their factory at Chantilly in St. Patrick. That's where you need to visit when looking for products made of the finest local wood. They deliver and install items at no extra cost. Your satisfaction is their mission. The extra step is taken to ensure their customers are completely satisfied. They do doors and kitchen, supplies mattresses, and restores antique pieces to look like the first day they were made. Hey, give us a call on 442-4645 and 442-9726. Classic Furniture, Grenada's homegrown furniture producers.
Yes, I'm called the number, yes, the number one. Oh, yes, the number one. It's the number one. Why you did to agriculture? I'm talking to the youth of this nation and those wicked politicians. Like they want to structure the plan. Welcome to the revolution agriculture. On top.
And we are back, guys. Before we jump into it, JD, I think we have a caller. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. So, caller, if you can hear me, you would need to go ahead and provide us with a call back because we're getting some feedback from there. Let me go ahead and say a special good morning to all the people who are looking at us on the live. Good morning to you guys. Thank you for tuning in once again. Of course, you guys know today's Thursday, so it is our agriculture program. You guys are probably wondering, well, where's Mr. Donald? You know, where's Mr. Donald this morning? We haven't seen Nabby in a very long time, or Nabby doing this program in a very long time. But in truth and in fact, I'm actually not doing the program. I'm just a technical operator today. JD is in charge of the agriculture program this morning. Mr. Donald, indisposed, but location unknown, I would say. So, caller, you're still locked in, and we're not hearing you, so you might want to go ahead and give us a call back. All right, JD, what do you have for us
Yeah,
now?
I'm going back on a bit on garlic. You say garlic can be used for toothache, and they can get into a teeth hypertension. And also, it could be used to like for to treat earache. You burn a piece of garlic in coconut oil, cool it body temperature, and use the cool oil as an airdrop. But one should be always exercise care and caution when putting anything into the ears. So garlic has quite a lot of use. I remember the little boy growing up, and one of the medication they would use if a nail would juke you, they would your grandmother would say, get a cockroach and garlic and tie it on it, and it works.
Cockroach?
Get a cockroach and with some garlic and tie it on the nail juke, and it I did it myself. I had nail juke as a little boy going all around the place. I had nail juke and I did it, and because some people when you get nail juke, it could be life or death, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so I think the old people knew a lot of health benefits that they used before, and somehow we. And I heard a story about a lady. She was poor, she didn't have much to eat, but if there was three things she had in her house, was a little bit of oil, garlic, and onion, and every day she would just prepare that, and the place would smell, the neighborhood smelling, but she cooking a big meal. Well, she had very little to go by, but every day she did something good. So she cooking. She hungry. She might be hungry, yes, but inside her house is smelling like something cooking boy. I mean,
Yeah.
once you smell onion and garlic, especially a little coconut oil, you must say some good food is cooking. But that's all she had to do. She might be
Just
hungry, but just so a lot of people go through a lot of stress, and we don't even know what they are going through inside their home. So we must look out for other people while we ourselves. So sometimes when I have a meal and I look at it, and I before I eat, I wonder, boy, most people wouldn't need a meal, especially if it's a good meal. If it's something like but if it's a good meal, you wonder how much people would like to have a meal. Somebody a whole week gone and they have not even had something good to eat. Somebody other week somebody pass and enjoy part of and enjoy part of it. Sometimes it happens, sometimes we don't. But
Mhm.
yes, we must look at each other. So from last when we had the program last week, we I mentioned about butter crops.
Yeah. Somebody was actually just asking me about that.
Yeah, about butter crops, and we said that corn could be used as a butter crop, and it's very very effective, very very effective to use when you use corn as the butter crop. But what you before you the corn will not be your main crop. So around your field, you would plant corn right around your. You could plant it like thick, just as you want a border. But you must plant this corn about a month before you put on your main crop. So by the time the corn gets up, it will protect your main crop. And studies show that a lot of people are dying. I can't remember the figure they gave because of the use of chemical, and they are trying now to ban a lot of the chemicals that farmers use in the vegetable and crop cultivation. So they have a strong thing going on now to look into that to minimize the death of a lot of farmers, not only the farmers, even the family, because they found out too that some of the farmers' clothes are being washed with other clothes in the household, and that helps that becoming a problem.
Mhm.
So that is the way we're going forward in that, and I like to see the day will come when because they are going to ban a lot of the chemicals now, from what I understand that farmers use, and they're trying to go more natural with that. But the corn will help, and even in the middle of the field, so you probably put another row of corn. So it are used as a barrier. You call it barrier crops. Barrier crops used as a cultural strategy for reducing pest population. It's planting a minor crop to protect. It's like you're planting a minor crop to protect your major crop. Another thing to beside the corn, you can use a lot of crops like, especially if you're doing tomato, you can use basil. Yeah, you could use that. But and if you don't have a lot, you can probably put it in the end of your bed. I remember passing, well, two farmers I met doing this, and I asked them, they had basil in the like tomato, and I said, "Why are you doing that?" Well, I know the benefit of it, and they said, "I don't know. I just planted. They have no knowledge. Why they planted?" But they said, I just planted. I said, "Well, that's very good because the basil would help tomatoes, and even the Italian, they make a sauce. They are companion to a point, but they make a sauce with basil and tomato. So they grow them together and they still process them together. Other crops you can use um, is marigold. I remember I went to a farm and he had to use much chemicals. I said to him, "You must use marigold." Marigold, I said yes. He didn't know what it was, so I had some seeds I brought a pack for him. He took it, never. So one day, Doctor Guido Master visit his farm. While knowing that he was not using much chemical, advised him to plant marigold. He said, "Marigold?" He said, "Yes." He said, "But I have a pack home." So he never took my word. Because who am I? But
Yeah.
he said, "Well, when Dr. Guido told him he would use marigold, he said, "But I'm at home." So yeah, he said, "No matter why I give him the marigold, I mean the flower, we do not plant flowers." But you see, sometimes they don't take, and I'm going to notice a lot of farmers they don't take advice.
Yeah.
They don't, they have their own agenda and they just, lately, as a farmer, I made planting cabbage and a few other greens. Put lettuce with it. I says, "No, you should not put lettuce with the cabbage and the pork chai." And he asked me why. I gave him all the reasons why you should do that. I said, "No." I said, "Well, that's what the people say. You don't plant lettuce with it." But 2 weeks after passed by him again, and then the pork chai looked ready for harvest and everything. But the lettuce slowed up.
Mm.
And then he says, "But the lettuce struggling, I should not plant." I just say, "Okay, what can I tell you?" After I told him not to do it, but you figure out, well, if you had planted lettuce by a stand by alone, only by itself, fine. But you and then you put it between the pork chai and the cabbage, looking to maximize planting space. But then in the long run, he felt, it affected the lettuce.
Yeah.
When the lettuce should have been ready in about like 3 weeks, they're struggling. And the longer they take to mature, they tend to become bitter. So then you'll be at a loss. So that you could plant marigold. You could do, there's another called borage. You could use rosemary. There's one called sage, tansy, oregano, parsley, yarrow. There's another one, yarrow, and then yarrow could be used also for fertilizer. There is there's a plant which I don't, what people don't know about it called comfrey.
Comfort.
Comfrey, comfrey is like a comfrey be a hub family. So you plant comfrey all over again. You plant like comfrey, you plant thyme. But you just plant it all over again. So they help keep away pests.
Mm.
And then when you harvest the comfrey, you could use it for it is being used to fertilize the soil, especially if you are potato like me planting potato.
Mhm.
So that will help the soil for the next potato crop. Then there's another one called wormwood. Wormwood is a very bitter, and the insects won't. They don't like. Will not even. They wouldn't like to taste that bitterness at all. So that would keep them away from you. And, like for instance, two of the worst crop with pests would be watermelon and okra. From the time you plant watermelon, by the time you put on the seeds in the ground, and the young plant seedlings, you have to use chemical. Otherwise, you're in trouble. Farmer tell me what he was planting because of watermelon. When he reach up high up on the belly, he come back. They have more eating the so that he planted behind her.
Sweet.
Yeah, so when he planted, so are you moving up? The more behind him moving up. So you know you have to use chemical. So from day one, that watermelon have to be using chemical. Okra again, okra takes a lot. This is very quick. So then once you have okra in your field, so it's good not to have okra near to other crops. If you're doing Udu by itself, and alone, not close to other crops. Because sooner or later it starts spreading. I think myself with farmers. And then what that does, when you spray this chemical, with the wind, if you turn which direction the wind is blowing,
Mm-hmm.
it will affect
Yes.
the other crops also.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that answer the question for the border crops and what you could use to enhance your farming for pests, doing it naturally for pests and disease. Another thing I could see farmers doing in Grenada is doing a planting crops that you don't really have crops that you don't really harvest them. When you reach a certain stage, you just move them back into the soil.
Mhm.
So they call cover crops. So you cut them back, you put them back into the soil. So then that will nourish the soil. So probably after a crop, after you do a heavy crop, you could just plant a cover crop, and when you reach a certain stage, you just get it back to the soil. So that will keep weeds down, and most times, most cases, a farmer plant a crop,
Mhm.
and when he harvests the crop, go back into the crop. I mean, when you probably when you just have it, when you harvest it, so then you
Yeah.
have to use chemical, and they say they're burning, they're going to burn the ground, they're going to burn that down. You have to use chemical to burn.
We have a call on.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Daddy. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
Wonderful. Wonderful. Judy, good morning.
Good morning, very good morning.
Wonderful. Thank you for the information on the cross. I have a question for you.
Go right ahead, if I could answer.
So I planted some watermelon. I transplanted some watermelon a couple weeks ago,
Yes,
and they started to flower already.
right.
So I'm thinking to take the flowers off because the root needs to be stronger. So I'm going to take the flowers off. What do you think?
Um, this is how big are they?
They are like 6 inches, 8 inches long.
But how long is it before you transplant them?
Oh,
That is a key. How long they will be had before they were transplanted?
oh, they were
Because those plants would stay more than 3 weeks in your nursery.
3 weeks.
More than 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, not
Okay.
more than 3 weeks in the nursery.
I thought you had to stay until you get like 3 weeks at least.
No, no. Well, it varies, but you should have plants in the nursery like over 21 days or so.
Oh,
Yeah, so then in some stage, I've seen farmers plant in cantaloupe,
yeah.
and they were starting to flower already before they were planted.
Oh,
The earlier you plant them out, better. Once they're strong enough, you plant them out, and then
yeah.
once they come, you should do it in the trees in nursery tree, and they can come out
Right.
with good soil formation.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. But are you out any pests or so, attacking the melon?
No, not yet.
So that's good because
Yeah.
that is the thing, and especially the young shoots right in the tip of the plant. That's where they attack.
Right.
So that's that. Have,
Sure.
I'm not sure what technology flower. I never really grown melon per se. I'm not sure if you take flower now that would you see that is what I believe in. I don't believe in fertilizing plants.
Right.
I believe in fertilizing the soil. So when the plant gets whatever it wants, is needed. It's already in the soil.
Right.
So just to start to prove what it has to do.
Right. So, another question, please, if you don't mind. I
No,
know.
go ahead, ask. That's what the program for.
I want to. I don't have to cut
No, no, oh my God. Don't have
That's
people
what
thinking I cut people off.
That's what made the program. That's what made
Yeah.
the program.
I was asked about fertilizer, pin manual, sheep manual, and cow manual.
Yes.
What are those good for? Because I know I've used some cow manual before in my plant, but the died because I think it's so
Strong. Yeah. If it's
strong.
strong,
Yeah.
yeah. And then on the other hand, the manual must be at least 3 months old. So you just take off, you just go to a pole,
Mm-hmm.
a cow pole or a pen, a sheep pen or whatever, take manual and just apply it to your crops. It must rest for about 3 months to break down and keep some of the pathogens and so that they may carry.
Oh, I
And
see.
yeah, even with full manual, I mean, again, come from manual, actually yes,
Yeah.
the manual are very, very strong.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful how you use it. But at least you have to do it. And another advice is that you put the manual down in the hole about 2 weeks before you plant.
Oh, okay.
But we do, farmers don't do that. They want to plant or they just put the hole and they just, but you did 2 weeks down in the hole.
Yeah.
When before you plant it, and then it will be about 3 months aged before you can use that. You could use it.
But I don't have to be worried about, say, sheep manual. This has less nutrients than cow
No,
manual.
they
They're all the same.
no, they are fed on grass
Right.
because the grass with the urine, when they urinate and when they it's the stools and so that will combine, into a good alternative for manure.
Okay.
And one of the best doing tomato, one of the best manure tomato is called down.
Wow.
Yeah, that's one of the best for called down. And what you could also you could also soak it in water for about a couple of days, and then you dilute it and feed the plant. Because I believe in liquid fertilizer.
Right.
So if I have a sheep manure or so, when I go for sheep manure, I don't take the top. I look to where they were fed, like probably long with not the fresh one. And then I'll soak it for about at least 2 days and then dilute it. And with the plants, I'll say I give my plants black coffee because it comes liquid will be very, very black.
Ah.
So I tell myself I'm giving my plants black coffee.
So after you don't dilute any.
No, you still dilute it. Yes, that will be strong. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you could keep on soaking maybe 2-3 times after that. You don't discard. Yeah. So I put it in a bag, and then I will lift the bag up, and then after I take out, I replace it again. So you could do it for 3 times. But the longer it stays, it becomes weaker.
Okay.
So the first batch you'll do is much stronger than the rest of them.
Okay. All right. So I want to just give that. So I can use the other manure to make a compost then.
Right. You could use those to make a compost.
Yeah.
If you have put a layer, whatever you have, you put a layer of each, but between each layer, some dust, a little bit of dust, and then you get a little wet. So you do a layer of, if it's the sheep manure, you put some dust about, not a lot of dust, but to kind of activate it, because dust has a lot of nutrients. I mean, very active.
Right.
You get a little wet. And then you put another layer. You do the same thing, until you have. Well, you could, even though you have 3 types of thing to put in the compost, you could do it twice.
Okay.
You wet it, and then you use a black plastic to cover it, and to give it the heat that you need. But one of the things that gives it a lot of heat is freshly cut grass with the heater
Mm-hmm.
that produces quite a lot of heat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And you talked about. I'm sorry to take it.
No, go ahead.
You talked about giving your plants coffee. Now, I heard about making seaweed, taking seaweed and letting it soak for a few months and then using that to
Yeah,
fertilize your.
all of that.
Yeah.
Once you have seaweed, because a lot of the fertilizer they get from non-chemical
Mm-hmm.
contains seaweed. A lot, most of them will contain. I know for one particular is mainly seaweed.
Okay.
Yeah, they use it's mainly seaweed. They use that something like they would use the fish meal
Mm-hmm.
to add to the seaweed and make and do a liquid fertilizer.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Okay. Great. Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate your assistance and your valuable information.
Yes, you can
I'll
call us.
continue to listen to you on the radio.
Yeah. Good. Fine. Have a wonderful day.
God bless you.
Yeah, you too. God bless you.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Right.
So we do have the agricultural update from Mina Booker down there at Ministry of Agriculture. This morning, I think they're focusing on the efforts to save the Grenada Dove. So let's go ahead and join Mina for that update.
To the listeners of Real FM Radio. This morning we have information for you from the Department of Forestry. The department has begun the process of collecting data to help monitor and manage the Eptotila well seed, or the Grenada dove as we know. Through a survey, the department will use the information and the data collected to develop a strategy to control or minimize some of the activities which may impact the population of the dove. A two-member team from the Forestry Department on Wednesday visited the Mount Hartman Dove Sanctuary, one of the homes for the dove.
Basically, what we're doing here today is collect data on activities that happening or taking place in the Mount Hartman Dove Sanctuary. Yes. Why? Down here is the dove sanctuary, and we have to protect the dove. So we don't want illegal activities to take place in that area because that will affect the dove, right? And legal activities like the cutting down of trees, uh, even holding the wild during the season as well. And some of the wild, for example, the mongoose always cause threat to the Grenada dove as well. Because sometimes Grenada doves travel on the ground, walk on the ground, feed on the ground. And those mongoose can catch them. So also we try to even reduce the population of mongoose in that area. So in order for us to do that, we have to carry out a survey, right? And come up with some strategy where we can control some of the activities or to minimize it. For example, cutting down of trees. If you go to cut down trees on a regular basis here, what will happen is that the dove will go to a next piece. And you don't want that to happen because right here as the sanctuary, visitors come here to see what we have to offer or to see the behavior of the Grenada dove.
And that was Forest Ranger Sean Filbert. The Forestry Department, as he explains, will then process the information.
After we collect that information, we bring it to the forestry department where they will process it and also disseminate it to the general public on the happenings. So the general public was assistance in protecting the area. There is a decline in the dove population. So that is why we carry out that survey. So we can put things in place to even beef up the population.
If you know the area where the sanctuary is located, there are many activities there which can and have already impacted the dove population. They include illegal farming, charcoal production, dumping of refuse such as old fridge, and the cutting down of trees, among other practices. And Darlan Francis is one of the other forest rangers who joined Philbert on the site visit on Wednesday, and he's happy that the department has selected to conduct the survey.
Well, today's activity for me is a very important activity concerning our national bird, which many Grenadians underestimate the importance of our bird. Because the Grenada dove is the only species can only be found in Guinea, which most people don't have the knowledge of how important we should protect it. Cannot be found anywhere else in the world. So I see it fit is not to do as much as we could and to send out much information as we could to protect our dog. Well, people need to get the knowledge of when we have something, we should cherish it because it don't last forever. So if we get rid of this guy, the strongly that the area which it live, it eventually it will function. And sometime our younger ones generation to come after would not know our Grenada dog.
The Manhattan Estate is one of only two locations in the world where this bird lives. And the estate was transformed over the past years to include an education and outreach center where persons can find information about the dove along with a tourism sanctuary. Another of the additions to the sanctuary is a 20-foot viewing tower surrounded by dry forest at the edge of the Grenada dove habitat, which allows you to see and hear the dove and other wild. Peter Plant is a tour guide at the sanctuary, and he's a gentleman with a wealth of knowledge about the dog. And on a day-to-day basis, um, he shares information with visiting tourists and students um, about the Grenada dove, give them a tour of the sanctuary when things are open. And he describes the survey by the Forestry Department as an important step to save the national bird.
Well, it's very unique and it's special. It's shy, and if anyone see it, then they will realize it's very special, you know. But people look at the dog as a common bird, and they don't respect it. So that's why a lot of people seems to understand it and its behavior, you know. So if people get to realize we have a national bird, and because foreigners feel good, some of them want to come back and look at it, and then we have our Grenadians here who don't even think about it, So we need to do something more realistic in terms of people realizing that that's our national bird. If the information comes from it could be valuable and they have a better grasp of the dog behavior, then people will get aware that our national bodies wouldn't be in danger. So at least we have to do something about it in terms of getting it back and people will respect it.
The Grenada dove is one of the birds listed by the International Union for Conservation of Nature IUCN as critically endangered. The Grenada dove is brown with a white belly, a light pinkish brown upper chest and neck, and a grayish forehead that extends from the bill. Its leg, feet, and bare skin around the eyes are bright crimson red. That's an update from us here, particularly from the Department of Forestry this morning. And we urge the public to do their part to help protect the national bird. Thank you again for facilitating us. And for persons who would like to request information, they can give us a call on 440-2708. That's the main office. Or they can reach out to their district agricultural office, or they can reach out to the Ministry of Agriculture's PR unit on WhatsApp number 417-2634. Thanks again for facilitating us, and we wish everyone a very productive Thursday.
Yes, agriculture is the number.
All right. So
So,
the Grenada.
coming out of this, one of the things I came to thought and mind about the mongoose and the doves. And that remind me again in the days, well, I think in the days gone by, they used to pay you for if you bring in a mongoose head or so. I can't remember the fee they used to give you. And out of that, I had a lot smart in my mind in a way that out of that came the mongoose gang. In the mongoose gang. I think they were no, I think they were holding it to catch mongoose, right? So that is how they and they would probably doing two purposes, they had them as the to catch mongoose in the field, and then they were top henchmen. So that's how they call them the mongoose gang. That I had to say that about that got me. Good, join us. Good morning, BJ.
Morning, G.
I don't know if you're young enough to remember the mongoose gang.
Morning, Navi. Morning, in public.
Morning, you're not in my film, so I need to figure out how I can get you into my film. So you, yes, that would be wonderful. Great. Yes, thank you so much. Morning, how you doing? It's just for a short period of time.
For around half an hour.
Yes, it's only for half an hour, and you were sanitized and everything, so we don't need to worry about that.
Not worry.
Not worry about that. Just supposed to be like plants. Under like the same species to be close to. I mean, with them.
Safest place on not Julie. It's really there. Don't forget the safest place on earth at this point in time is Grenada.
From a agricultural point, I'm saying like man live like plants. At whatever I can add that one close to it, it could be something else. But when that tomato roasting in tomato, the same tomato, it gets upset.
Judy, you're acting shy.
So actually, I screen. So if you want to go back
No,
to JD,
I'm really show you, man.
You just talking about
How things, everybody?
yeah.
Happy to see everybody this morning.
Yeah, kind of warm.
Oh,
You
you
know, be cool warm. Kind of warm this one. It'll be cool if you want this one.
Warm and easy as always.
It's warm. I thought it was cool.
No, man, just warm. Never hear me say
Oh, warm and easy.
it's warm and easy.
All right, well, I've been squat.
I don't know if you know, I am on top of the normal chain. They call us Homo sapiens.
Okay.
We are warm blood.
All right.
yeah, but it's a bit warm in here. Our
Kinda
technician has to come back.
That's okay.
Yes. So how are
Activate
you?
your brain.
How are you, BJ?
I'm fine.
There's the bananas.
Oh, what I brought you some sample.
I saw that.
Yeah. And they say what? The proof of the pudding is in the taste. Wow. You have a go.
I'll have. I'm not gonna eat. We're live, so I'm not gonna see me eating bananas. But thank you very much.
Well, I produce this banana
Mhm.
in the entire country. Healthiest,
Mm.
no chemicals, very little fertilizer, good field sanitation.
That's a key. That's a key thing. Field sanitation. That's one of the
What
key.
more can
Also, a key, very key, very key.
bright yellow in color, high in potassium.
Yeah, exactly. Everything is good. Everything has. I think it is.
JD, this morning while I was coming in, someone called on radio and was asking some question in relation to watermelon
The fruiting.
and the fruiting and the flooring.
Yeah. Another thing that I had to tell the caller, when you come and talk before that to the doctor, I'm not a doctor anything. You feel I'm only a practitioner holding your bag. So I was waiting when you come to address that matter for that. Thank you, sir.
A lot of farmers, JD, they move away from planting plants directly or seeds directly into the ground, and they put it in a seedling trays. First they put it in seedling trays, and then they transplant it into the field. There are small bit of downsides to that. There are advantages and there are disadvantages. The disadvantages is that sometimes when you plant directly into the ground, you can have whole cricket and like mice and stuff in your seeds, and you don't get 100% germination. Whereas if you put it in a seedling trays, you basically can remove the plant, and wherever you put in the plant, it's going to be there. However, and plants do go through shock from moving it from one place to another. Also, the root system, because it's contained into a small cube, into a small cell, they sort of grow around each other. I don't know if you notice, and yeah, they basically go downwards. They sort of grow across, and they sort of grow on the side and try to see whatever nutrients they can get there. Now you have to understand that those crops, like vegetables, fruits, watermelon, tomatoes, lettuce, they all have a life. They all have a time in which they mature and produce a fruit and they die. Now you have to understand that if you want healthy watermelon, if you want your trees to be prolific, you have to give it a start because it's a vine. And generally, the size of the fruit are determined by how much the vine actually grows. Because remember, the leaves is this stuff that manufacture the food back into the watermelon, your sugars and all, sugar compounds and colors and whatever. The whole synthesis takes place in the leaves. So if you don't have plenty leaves, you have issue. During the first month, 6 weeks probably, during the life stage of a watermelon plant, you need to fertilize it quite heavily with nitrogen. So you get a lot of leaf growth, a lot of foliar growth. That's the vegetative stage. After that, you would want the watermelon to pick up a whole heap of flowers, the watermelon tree to pick up a lot of flowers so you can get good pollination and you can get good production. No, you have to change the fertilizer around that time. You have to use a fertilizer that is low in nitrogen, but high in phosphorus and potassium, like 10, 20, 30, something to that extent. And what that does is sort of harden the plants. So it's tend to tell itself, something, I'm mature now, I'm a big person. I can go on and produce fruit. So it start making blossoms and stuff like that, producing blossoms like human beings. And when you do get your blossoms and stuff like that, in order to maintain blossom on the tree, you need to give the plants nutrients like its vitamins, its calcium, its micronutrients, and those things. Because what would happen is that the plant will start aborting the flowers if it does not realize that it can maintain the survival of the species. And all of those are things that you need to follow up and look at and nurture and practice in order for you to get good crop yields. The healthier the plants, the greater the potential it is to produce fruits.
Okay.
So if you keep plants healthy, you give it all the nutrients that is required at a specific time, and you take care of it, you don't have if or no but it can produce to its optimum. And that's what you really want. Some people what they do during the vegetative growth, like my caller was asking, he was asking whether or not um, he should remove his flower. Um, Probably depends on how old the plants are. Sometimes the plant is ready to be air.
Yeah.
And when you remove it, just produce next one. However, if the vegetative state still, you can remove the flower, and that will help the plant. That will because a lot of energy is needed to move from that stage of flowering in production of fruit. If you take off that from the tree will tell itself, oh, well, it's something I'm not ready to produce yet. And it continues to grow. However, if the plant reaches a stage where it is mature, there is no sense you removing the flower. I hope I make sense.
Yeah, that's right. And that's added to that value added to what Bobby was a lot, yeah. You see,
Uh,
a lot of they don't study the plant. They just want to plant and not think, well, what the plant needs, what are the characteristics of that plant. A lot of people just they do that, not thinking, well, what do I know about watermelon? What do I have to do?
in fact, the trick in growing good watermelon crop is prepare the holes where you're going to plant the plant because most people use seedling trays. You prepare it, you put in all your broken down pen manual, humus is much better if you have some triple superphosphate, which will aid in root growth. This also will help. And you can just put a layer of soil above that, then you put the plants, and then you sort of put some soil around it. So, sort of activate root growth, which is very important. If you don't have a root system, you could as well as forget.
Yeah, that's
Most people think you can spray it on and on. And no, plants don't take in fertilizer through the leaves. They do take in, but a very, very small bit.
yeah, fully.
Plants most of the nutrients.
Yeah.
I have a question from one of
Yes.
our WhatsApp. Yes. Is it a good thing to reuse seeds on a larger scale? I'm not sure who's able to best answer this.
Well, what we do tend to support the reusing of seeds because what you will get, you may take a hybrid plant, and when you plant and it produces a fruit for you, say a watermelon plant, what happens? You get an F2. You must do that in biology, the second generation.
Yeah, yeah.
And that second generation generally does not have the characteristics, the viability as its predecessor. And then what you can find is that you have diminishing rate of return. Instead of you can still get watermelons, you may still get cantaloupes, you may still get whatever you're planting, but the production, the yields will start decreasing.
Yeah.
So we don't recommend it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially like corn. People take the hybrid corn. They save some of the seeds and to replant it, but it's not advisable. And farmers, this is what they was. F1 would mean the fourth generation. So when you see F1, it's
Hybrid.
a high fourth generation. I know there are farmers, people doing seeds, wash seeds, which is not the best, but you have people who do
Well,
it.
some people do that. They save the seeds, they look for good plants and they save the seeds and they plant and stuff like that. Don't know if most people realize the only way you can actually get a plant that is exact as the one that was planted before is through a method they call cutting.
Yeah.
What you take a piece of a lean branch of the plant that existed and you basically grow to it. The characteristic of that plant that you're growing and the one that you took the plant from are exactly the same. If you take a seed from that same tree, chances are a different plant.
Most cases, because a farmer told me I went to a farmer once, big farmer, I think he was near very quick, and then so give me a pair of pick up a seed as I plant it. He says, no, you will never get pair as that one. Yeah, so
So here's the reason that you see leaders of the world are saying, you know something, guys, we're gonna give you a license to produce a heart, a license to produce a lung, but we cannot give you the license to clone people. That's the only way to same human being if you clone them. If your parents make you, you may resemble your parents, you may have characteristics like them, but you cannot be like your parents.
Okay. Let's see. Another question. Your bananas wants to know if you sell your bananas to the general public and where, if you do.
We sell to the general public on a daily basis. Predominantly in the city, down St. George's. If somebody want like a bananas to eat, in the area, they can always get in contact with me. I can always let them have a few for free. They won't have to pay for it and stuff like that.
Okay.
Don't want to start taking the money from the people in the country. That is really happen. Prefer to take that in the city and take back in the country.
The city people here, you know. I understand. So the person, I guess they got the response. They'll let
The right
you know.
consent is because we have the ripen there, and because of the nature of you don't want to be running about with it here, there, everywhere. So the shorter the distance, to its destination, it will have less mechanical damages and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
because that's what they're trying to do now in the big cities, because they find it's too far to grow some of the crops to the end users. They're trying to create city on top of all the buildings. So you could reach them
Yes.
much quicker than having to come from miles and miles and miles.
Some of the big buildings that they are building now, the hotels and stuff like that, the whole top of it is done with hydroponics. And so they produce their own fruits and everything, the
Yeah.
vegetables right there
Yeah,
in their own quarter, maximizing of the space.
I've seen a system where the chef own greens in the kitchen.
Yeah.
In the kitchen, he grows.
I just take all that, brethren. You
Yeah.
know, have to move.
You have to move on.
Nobody move, nobody get hurt.
Yeah. I had an experience this year on Saturday. I went to look for some. No, I was in Grenada. I had to get some things. So a lady had beans, and I like some beans, fresh big beans. I said, "Lady, how you selling your beans?" $5 a bag. But I find no $5 a bag. I don't even look at half cup. I said, "But how much beans in the bag?" What? And I said, "Is that pound?" She said, "No, I'm not selling beans by the pound. I'm selling beans by the bag." And she got irritated. I said, "Well, no, that's not right. I must know if I'm buying a pound of beans or whatever." She said, "Mister, I'm not selling beans by the pound. If you go to the supermarket, see they have different prices." I say, "Yes, but there's a price, there's a weight, and it's being calculated by the pound." And she said, I still ended up taking some of the bill. I wanted to be. Then I went to the market, green onion. So what we call green onion is size. You cooking is green onion, is size. So I went back. I said, "Do you sell the side by itself?" No, stop. You don't see a China.
Wow.
So the second one, same. It don't sell side by itself. Very rare you will get some side. Yeah, I don't want the other thing. I really want it from Grenada. People, I don't know. The people are difficult. And what is on the market? What is plentiful? Tomatoes, potatoes, and pumpkin. Very plentiful, especially tomatoes. I get in maybe getting two bags of tomatoes for $5.
Oh, this is good. Like that, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's also potatoes. I don't think the price are wrong. Some people tell me about fire, this kind of
This
price.
is kind of on the expensive side.
Yeah, very price. And pumpkin, I didn't get the price of pumpkin. When I want pumpkin, in my area, nice, good quality chicken, would last you a couple of weeks with us.
Because those things aren't very difficult to grow. They shouldn't be selling very expensive.
No, what how much it costs
To produce it.
because like pumpkin, 2 cups you don't buy seeds for pumpkin, and you don't buy grind, buy that 2 cups that you plant.
They can't plant in Montreal last year and
In
everything.
the middle, yes, on your money transport to go and pick up the potatoes. Pumpkin, if you are a pumpkin grower, you save. And if you realize most pumpkin people who sell pumpkin, they take off the seeds and they sell you the pumpkin, But I think that does affect the quality of the pumpkin when you take off you take whatever you use, you use your hand or what, in the pumpkin. If you leave the seeds there, it's a lot better than just taking off the seeds and like. So we should be, you have a lot of food on the market. We should be eating, make use of it. And when potato is the highest crop in the world. When I say high, I mean
Okay.
yes.
You smiling, Navi? I get some information that you want to share.
Someone was asking if you guys coordinate y'all outfits before we
Oh,
before we come in on the
Good.
show.
wise men.
I don't see BJ say after that.
You didn't think conversation like this.
Like
You're gonna put yourself in trouble. Next thing they think is house.
I was just having but BJ, I have a question for you. Kenko. What's going on, Kenko?
All seems to be going. I'm producing wrong.
I haven't
A long
tasted
time
it.
now.
A little
I don't
sample.
know. I manufacture this thing, but I don't really I'm making it public. I don't encourage people to drink alcohol. From my experience,
Mhm.
um, just seeing my friends and
Yeah.
on a day-to-day basis, um, the way they consume alcohol and stuff like that,
Yeah.
it's scary.
But I
And
know
the
about
thing
it.
what make them do,
Yeah.
it's sort of a scary. I mean, guys would sit down and drink a whole bottle, maybe two, three guys for the day,
Yeah.
and it's like 87% alcohol by volume. This thing is flammable,
Mhm.
and you trace it down with some water, and actually you're damaging your system by
That's true.
doing such.
So knowing that these are the risks and all of these things, how do you feel
I don't feel any
manufacturing?
way. Actually manufacturing the product,
Mhm.
mellow it, putting those stuff in barrel, wooden barrel,
Mhm.
mellow the rum, to clean the rum, to
Mhm.
purify the rum.
Mhm.
And after it comes from there, the intention is not to produce that harsh alcohol, but to water it down.
Oh,
So instead of you have this 80% alcohol, you
Mhm.
may have 30%
okay.
by volume. And this is what the intention is. It's not to manufacture white rum that you put a little bit in your mouth, make it a kick in your head, and you decide to, deal with somebody viciously. Or you don't see where you're going, that kind of thing. So, I don't feel anyway. We are producing a beverage. We are producing something that can bring in, a lot of foreign exchange that can create employment, the sustainable employment, something that is formidable, something that is, can add to GDP and basically sustain your agriculture sector somewhat. This is the way to go. And the intention, I mean, let's get this thing absolutely clear.
Mhm.
Don't want anybody to grab me wrong on my throat when I'm asking. But I don't not to produce raw ingredients. My intention is to export raw
Mhm.
for the people who live abroad and take the money what they have and bring back in my country. That's the intention. This is the ulterior motive.
Yeah,
So
this
if
is
people here want to think because it's produced in here, we should just drink it up, and get high and drunk and whatnot. This is not my intention.
Mhm.
And it's the same sort of notion and motive we should have for marijuana when it's finally legalized,
Mhm.
or if we decide to finally legalize it. We shouldn't be producing it for internal use. We should be producing this thing and export it to pharmaceutical companies and whatever abroad and get big bucks for it.
Yeah. I
That
agree.
should be our intention.
I agree. But you would find one or two within the
It
groups
happens.
that.
I want to take a little dry can
Yeah.
alive.
Yeah.
You have to be filtered and you have to balance.
Yeah, but I see what you're trying to do with that, and I really hope that it works out in that way because, of course, we always want revenue generated back into our country because we always sell our raw materials, we utilize it, and they benefit from it.
Sustainability.
Yes,
It has to be good for the people, you have to be good for the environment, economic sense.
Yeah,
So this
definitely.
is what I have to ask you. It's really if I export local
Yes, that should
consumption.
be our agriculture should be driven by export.
Mhm.
We shouldn't be about producing things internally. We could have that much of food in
A
Trinidad.
lot of food. Yeah.
We have all the fruit and all the mango and all the sauce and all the coconuts and all the you know fruits and stuff just spoiling and stuff.
But last time is
As far as I concerned, we need to move away from that kind of agriculture, subsistent kind of thing, and seriously farm in a marked way, in a way that can generate foreign exchange, in a way that can bring in revenue. Um, Navi, sometimes the strength of your economy, the strength of your country's performance, sometimes is depend on the quantity of foreign exchange that you attract, that you own.
Mm.
If you don't own any money from outside and you have $100 spinning around in your country, when you look around, you have it,
Yeah, that's true. We have a caller. Let's go ahead and take the caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
yeah.
Yeah, I just wondering to the update of the for the planting.
What's that?
Yeah, I would like to remind everybody, I didn't hear it. The date for the days for the planting.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. No problem.
DJ was asking you, we have to see a tree right source of.
Well, this is an high demand, Judy. We're not supposed to have ripe, so spoiling around.
But I'm not saying spoiling, but
Um,
the tree, it's ripe, you pick it and enjoy it fresh from the tree. You know,
the demand is too high for that now.
so
It
we,
attracts foreign exchange now in a big way.
yeah, we put it now, we're not
You know, we should be able to
right.
a
So
certain portion of it if we want to. But from ever since, I don't think for one reason or another, and big up and so on.
That's true.
yeah,
We used to take the time. People
no,
out
no,
there,
no,
Recently, we've gotten into
no,
this
no.
whole concept of
I
soursop.
grew up in Source.
Judy, they use the
I
exception.
mean,
It's not supposed to be falling in because last year you passing it, you six, seven ripe ones on a tree.
you know,
I'm outside it.
yeah,
You don't bother anymore.
we both had to get, but we used to call it punch, Babali.
Yeah, you just squeeze it and you
And
put it in milk or whatever
yeah.
and you drink it up.
You know what I had this week? A peanut punch it in sauce up. Boy, that was wonderful.
That should be tasty.
Yeah, peanut punch. Peanut and sauce up together.
Judy, the world just stage now where people don't pick things and eat it. They don't have no time for that. When you're passing by, pick it up in a glass,
In
in
a
a
glass,
soup, something like that. So you move with it.
They have
If
to be
you
ready.
want sauce up, you can find in Grenville any given time. I don't know if you have any juice bar around here, but there are the people who make smoothies and stuff, and you
Yeah.
can choose whatever fruit you want. That's the stage we're at now. We're living in a commercial age, in
Yeah.
a different age from when you and I growing up.
On that
You know?
note, I was in Grenada sometime, and I've seen a lot of meal people passing with this bottle, unique bottle, and they're drinking it. I ask a guy, "What do you have there?" It says Siemens, and some guy, I've seen that for a long, long time, but almost everybody you see passing. I said, "Where do you get it?" And people go this place, they will find the guy there who does it. I say, that's good. It could add value to our what we produced. Now let me give you the planting dates for March. They're not much. Above the ground, you have 3 days: the 21st, the 22nd, the 23rd. I repeat, 21st, 22nd, 23rd. Below the ground, the 16th, the 17th, and the 18th. The 16th, the 17th, and the 18th. That's for below the ground. So I hope, and then the weather is not too bad now, and you're still getting a little wet now and then, and which is pretty good. So you could probably make yourself the. But I could tell you that during the day that sun will be hot, real hot during the day. Good.
So those are planting
That
days.
planting dates, yes.
All
Yeah,
right.
about to close. So that's more. What else? Do we have to share? Any question people want to know about? What else?
I haven't seen any recent questions. Let me just double check. We have a caller. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Namela.
Morning, Clifford.
Good morning to the gentleman that is here.
Morning, Clifford.
All right. Mr. BJ, there's some wonderful ideas coming up. Seen we seen on television for the last few days. The revival of banana. Um, are we? Whether they had farmers that were selected. Are we putting those matters into a association type or a selected type of personnel? Are we going to be certain that we will have bananas throughout the length and breadth of the island? Are we sure that markets are going to be looked at for these bananas? Are we going to just see a slum coming in? What kind of progress, what kind of action will be taken to put this new banana fly that is on into some sort of regulation? One. Two, we hearing um, workers in the nutmeg pools complaining that things are not nice within themselves and the management. Is the association on top of that, or we going to see a slump down where because the union man say that they will call strike in all the other pools? Is the boards on top of those situations? Um, in terms of the cocoa, we understand that a new factory, they will be putting in a factory in Moncton, and they had selected farmers already, certain farmers that they would be perhaps buying this cocoa from or whatnot. What's the position? And I'm not hearing enough ventilation and those matters. We just hear them goes on the air, and then we hear much about the development where they're going, how are they how are they formulating these things. Would it be specified farmers that will be selling cocoa to those factory to that factory? Mr. PJ, can you help me with some of these ideas?
Well, the first one has to do with bananas, the revitalization of the banana industry, so to speak, or the banana sector, if we do have one. Um, I have the opinion that we need to structure our agriculture better than we are doing it. I'm of the opinion that we still play a bit of politics with whatever agricultural activities that we get involved in from time to time. For example, I don't understand why the government would have to bring in um, 20,000, 10,000, 15,000 banana plants every 3 months, every 6 months. Banana is a big herb and it produces sucker, it produces plants. You don't have to bring plants all the time like that. After the hurricane, uh brought in 500 banana plants from, and the hurricane was what, 14 years ago?
Yeah.
Brought in some banana plants from Israel, named Williams, in some test tubes, some little trays. Nurtured them and planted that 500 trees. The next year, I was able to plant 500 trees, gave me about 3/4 of an acre. The next year, I was able to plant 5 acres. And I had these 5 acres producing non-stop, 14 years now. And I would have sold, what, 50,000, 60,000 banana plants within that space of time. So where all those plants are going, it tells you that something is wrong. This should basically front up the entire country already. It tells you that something is wrong the way we go about structuring our agriculture. We have to zone it. We have to understand that certain crops will grow better in certain place. And certain farmers need to understand that, hang on, you know something? Instead of scratching 2 little trees here, 3 little trees over there, we either into this thing and get, specialize in what we are doing than we just taking plants every time it passes our way and put it into the ground. And that's it. That's the end. You hear about those plants. Waste of time, waste of money, not doing economic good. So that's my take in relation to this banana business. Select the people who can grow this thing properly, engage them to do it properly, and forget this wash your foot and count in, and everybody jumping in the bandwagon. That's a recipe for failure and disaster when it comes to agricultural development. Secondly, my man was talking in relation to the nutmeg business. In relation to the nutmeg industry, um, I keep saying that it disheartens me all the time to see how much we are divided as a people, how much we can get to act. We cannot get our act together in relation to where we want to go and what we want to do. Um, People should understand that communication is key um, in managing your workforce. I don't see why people have to go on strike. Um, if management and workers have good relationship, I really can't see. It tells me we have industrial unrest for things like money or things like maybe labor and those kind of activities. It tells me that you have a breakdown in your communication line somewhere. Um, how long ago? And I'm sure Clifford is listening. How long ago were I hearing about this amalgamation or this merging between the cocoa and nutmeg business? How long ago? Me
Well,
ever for you
I could
ask.
tell you since in the 80s.
Me
I could
hear,
tell
me hear
you since in the 80s, 82. Go back there when Cedar Study and the amalgamation. I was part of the association at that time. And
82
we
to
still
now.
advocate it
This
right
is
up to
check the
now.
time we're living in. 2020.
You
Wait,
understand?
this man
So
on the
I'm seeing that there's too much turnaround and we're not seeing where they're going. We're not seeing strong enough organization that is about to lead agriculture. We're hearing about agriculture. We know that there's things to be done. We're hearing about speed road and whatnot. But I'm not certain that we getting the message across.
I am not sure myself, Clifford. I am not
And
sure
I mean,
about it
it's
myself.
hurting because so much. Every organization telling you, every company, every country telling you, oh, COVID has shown us a new way, and the way forward is agriculture. Everybody talking about agriculture, but are we serious as to where we put in agriculture? That is my concern. But
Yes,
I'm not sure that we're serious, and I'm not certain that, as you say, I'm not certain that coordination is working. The cocoa association seems to be not working with nutmeg not seems to be working, farmers not working with board, farmers not working with, and you just have this going around that circle, you know,
yes.
going
And the
around in
third thing
circle.
that Clifford spoke about was in relation to do the chocolate factory that they intend to build and those kind of thing. The same thing. Nabi, in the absence of facts, in the absence of relevant information, people speculate. People assume you can't blame them because something throw up in the air, you want to know what it is because it may fall on you. So you start speaking about things that you don't know about and you dirty the water, you make things more cloudy. It becomes dark.
For instance, we have approximately 4 cocoa factories in Grenada right now. And if you take a drive to from Guam to September, you see 3/4 of the cocoa fields are almost abandoned. But here we're talking about more chocolate and more cocoa thing. Where are we selling them? How are we selling them? Is the farmers getting anything more? Are we seeing production increasing? Are we seeing better maintenance of fields? And we're not blaming it. I'm not trying to blame anybody, but I'm saying, where's the structural for it? Where's the structural for that?
If you don't know where you're going, any road taking you there, If you stop in a junction and there are many roads and you don't know where you're going, you can go in any one of them. And the problem is that we don't have a plan. We don't have a comprehensive plan as to how we move in the agriculture sector forward. We just do things as they come. So somebody pop up with something and you raise the hand and we fall for it. It isn't like that. You should have a comprehensive development plan. and you need to work with it. You can break it down by 3 years or by 5 years, but you need to have a comprehensive plan as to how you move the sector forward. Without a plan, brethren, you're just trying things, you just throw a ball in there, you just whoop in, you just hope that one day you might connect. Well, life is a hopeful process,
For that
brethren.
matter,
It's a
for
real
that
and
matter, we don't
practical.
continue. The association should be able to tell us what among the cocoa they getting, what among the cocoa the other factories are getting, who is servicing the other cocoa, the other people that are producing cocoa. Are they using the same extension officer to bring the same knowledge? Where how does it go? I mean, these are factors we are doing because what sense you put in all your effort in the association, and then you have three other factories who producing cocoa. Where they getting the cocoa from? What services are given to them?
Clifford, on one last point.
Yeah.
All the private factories, they grow their own cocoa and they have their own market. All the private ones, all of them. They grow
So
their
that
own.
means there's money in it. There's total money in it. If what you're saying is quite true, then that means there are total money in cocoa production in Grenada.
They have their own factory, they do their own thing, they have their own market, so they don't have to. Well, buying cocoa since what happened with COVID, but before that, they all have their unique markets. They all have their niche markets. So,
Judy, look
So
at
that
this
means
one. We have this
something is wrong.
fundamental problem whereby a lot of people is of the notion that the people who turn in the mill, the people who turn in the wheel, you don't have to bother about them. They can keep turning it for the rest of their life. It isn't like that. Judy, if the people who are turning the wheel are not being looked after properly, they will even get despondent and call it a day. How many cocoa fields we have that are abandoned and nobody look at them? And before you pass, you have two little tree around your house and you're well taking care of it and everything seems to be moving. Because you know why? We've been telling the farmers, something, you won't get more for your crop. And every year we say the same thing. We're doing well with our factories. We are producing chocolate, and that aspect of that business is doing well, and the farmers are feeling the effect of that. That's what the problem is. You remember when the it was $5 a pound, people go and sweep under the tree to make sure that they don't leave a green seed there because it's $5 a pound. As soon as they reduce it to $3 per pound, people start going garden.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's 3 minutes past
past
9 o'clock.
time
We're
to
past
pass,
9. My
we
my
pass.
news came up. I want to thank you guys so much for coming and being a part of the agriculture program. Thanks to all those who looked at us live, those on terrestrial radio, those on the website, wherever it is that you listened or viewed from. Thank you so much for being a part of our agriculture program. News is up next. Better late than never, guys.
Bye. Informative, entertaining, and first. Every hour on the hour.